Something ought to be said about that.
Life issues from a biblical perspective. Things that are not normally talked about in church, but things that God definitely has something to say about.
Going through all of those things, it sensitized me, it trained me.
I want to set a biblical context for this conversation. There are a number of scriptures that outline how we should respond.
I knew what I had to do, and it was a natural thing for me.
We're going to talk about ways that the church should be helping. There is a wealth of experience and resources in the church that we don't even realize.
Gratitude can take us from feeling sorry for ourselves to feeling joy. Over the decades, turns out it's me who's the slow learner, because I've had to learn gratitude more than once. Think I've finally got it and want to share with you the full scoop on gratitude. New scientific research reveals that doing a daily gratitude exercise will make you happier, more self-disciplined, more able to achieve your goals, even physically healthier. And perhaps best of all, gratitude frees us from emotional pain. If you want to let go of emotional pain, choose gratitude. Or if you simply want to feel more joy, choose gratitude. Because when you feel more joy, you make the world more joyful. You need just 3 easy keys: emote, extend, and exercise. Emote, meaning it's not enough just to think about gratitude, you've got to feel the emotion. Extend, as in extend your gratitude beyond yourself to include other people. Be grateful for other people. Exercise, do your daily gratitude exercise. Emote, extend, exercise. Say it with me. Emote, extend, exercise. When you practice gratitude correctly, you tap into neuroplasticity, brain plasticity. That's the discovery that we can restructure our physical brains by using our minds to create better brain cell connections. When you use the 3 keys, you unlock your neuroplasticity. When you emote, you fire up the hippocampus, your brain center of learning and memory. When you extend your gratitude to include other people, you spark the most highly evolved areas of the human brain, devoted to social intelligence. And finally, in order for those wonderful new brain cell connections to go into long-term memory, to spread out into the subconscious, where they become deep beliefs that drive you forward, that takes the regular repetition of daily exercise. Emote, extend, exercise.
Absolutely, because somebody who doesn't understand that there's a hope that's available will ask that. Yeah, that's nice, but so why should I be happy? Why should I give thanks? I get that. Yeah, and it's a discipline. It really is. Because the natural thing that happens when you have less than perfect situations is to be angry, is to be resentful, is to be discouraged. So learning to be thankful in that kind of situation really is something that is a taught activity. And then sometimes on the other side, when you are prospering really well, and I think simply is that you will you think that your intelligence and your smartness is that. So even so you have your life, sometimes we think for action, other side, this is the time. Be careful. So sometimes what we promote is this kind of self-aggrandizement that says that I don't have to be thankful. Yeah. I don't have to appreciate success. I don't have to have gratitude because I made it possible or I'm so happy. We have these very strange ways that tell us that we don't have to say thank. As well as it's taking the concept of God again out of the picture, not thinking that this was given to you, but that you did it yourself. If you don't think that anything was given to you, then you don't really feel you have a need to be thankful for anything because, like you said, I did it myself. So who do I need to thank? We're bosses on jobs, but people do good work for us. They work well and they give us their best. We don't even feel we have to say thank you because that's your job. So there's a mindset that we have. Ungrateful. You are not grateful. There was an article that I read. It was talking about the difference between, like when you were talking about a job. If somebody has been given an assignment to do, and they do it because they feel that it's their responsibility, they're being paid for it. But when people get privileges given to them, character is shown because the more privilege you have, it's a situation, well, what are you going to do with that? So there you see the graciousness that you're talking about. Do you have a graceful or a gracious attitude because you realize that this was something that was given to you It's a privilege, or are you, the king on the hill because you get entitled because you have these things? Sometimes it's about realizing that even if I don't want to sacrifice yourself, what that no matter what my success is, I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. It's hard to successful at all. There are a whole host of people. Yeah. I'm under there. I can see them. Somebody. Whether I'm on Friday, I think of today, or whether it's volunteer because they love me, whatever the reason, there are a whole list of people who I stop for 5 minutes like I'm with myself. And that over about 2 years. And thought about how I worked to where I am. Just realize how you do it by yourself. Couldn't. And unfortunately, you live in a society where we live under the tree. Yeah. I think that fills in that self-esteem thing. You want to feel good about yourself. And, it's important that you give other people credit for what they did. Because if not, you might not find yourself with help later on down the line. Number one, we're not here for Christ. Yeah. We're not doing our part to help someone else. Yeah. Because if I work really hard and I'm really good for our team, and I do what I do to help you succeed, and then you want to very active and you do it, you are limiting really the negative moments in your team. Yeah. And so what it does is, there's a number of things, and the one of them is the first part. Number two is just reinforces a mindset member of those doing themselves. Yeah. Because everybody is trying to grasp for their own. So, I love the song, trying to go, and it's all about me, my more. And I'm not going to try to help anybody because I've been taking advantage of it. So we can hold concept of racism. It's very easy. Yeah, we see people every day cross at the top of each other and choose to succeed. And they seem to go to a choice of success, which sometimes never turns out to be success. Because if they're both witness, or what you can do is achieve success, because he actually the correct power. The problem with this concept, I think that a lot of people are not because they're not discerning between good success and bad success. Bad success, like you said, can be taken away, and it's something that we're seeing on a daily basis. I think the whole concept is be careful who you step over. Find your way because they cross the road. You have to be very careful. Just don't ignore. It's all about you. And that is one of the things that is really dangerous It's all about right now. And the world wants you to give back. The world wants you we can write that from But what you're talking about is diametrically opposed to giving thanks. And I think that what's sad about it is kids are being taught that this is the way to do it. This is the way to succeed. So it just continues the cycle of selfishness. It really, my heart warms when I see young people that I've seen, like 8, 9, 10-year-olds that decide they want to get together and have a business so they can help other kids or other people who are indigent. And you wonder, what kind of parents is this child have? They taught them something else because the majority of the kids are not thinking that way. Or they come up with an idea for a business and they want to contribute something to a charity. It's about, there was a time when paying it forward was the thing to do, but people don't even think about it on that way anymore. So, true. Yes. Yeah. And if you have somebody who was thankful for what their elder did for them, I think they might think ahead that this might be somebody's grandmother. This could have been my mother. But they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about the gold chain on the neck that they can snap and keep for themselves or resell so they can get something for themselves. And, I think it's more than I know in my house that was not something that you got away with, but it's a shocking thing for me when I go someplace and I'll do something and there is no thank you. It used to be a social break. If somebody did something for you, whether you knew them or not, it was thank you. But like you say, or if you send, I was taught by my mother to send thank you notes. If somebody sent you a gift for your birthday or a little money for a holiday, you sent a thank you note. And you have cousins that you're sending them things and you don't hear anything. You're calling their parents and saying, did they get the card I sent them? What did they, but you see the check has been deposited in the bank and who knows, they got their sneakers already. But the kids don't know to say thank you. Yeah. 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 Yeah, and I'm supposed to have it. Mm-hmm. You're supplying what I was supposed to get. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in addition to that, part of that definition talks about the fact that of the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. So this person not only doesn't have a right to it, but they believe it. Yeah. You love it. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Right. Mm. You told God, I'm not going to touch an animal. Somebody told you something. Somebody told you something. Somebody told you something. Somebody told you something. Somebody told you something about that. Somebody told you something about that. Somebody told you something. You know, we got this Harvard purpose. That's what it's saying. Because I thought that difficult is unrighteous as we walk wrong. What was that famous line from that famous play? Nobody promised me a crystal stair. You know, it's yeah. Mm-hmm. Because the crystal stair would be nice, you know. But all of the things that God put in my life, all the people that He's allowed to put in my life, to take me to my future. I want to know that we are not grateful. We are to be told. We don't recognize the work of our